Hello, welcome. I make videos about side hustles, making money, saving money, self-employment, entrepreneurship, and basically doing what you want, when you want, how you want, and being able to afford it. If you're here for that, welcome. Today I want to go over 10 side hustles that I have tried that were total failures for me. I know there are lots of people who make a full-time living off of each one of these side hustles. But I wanted to warn you that these are not for everyone. They may take a really long time to make money, if ever. And for me, if you're looking to make quick, easy money on the weekends or in the evenings, these may not be your best choices. So heading up number one, I've got Amazon t-shirts, Teespring t-shirts, Redbubble t-shirts. Those are all number one. If you are an artist and you like to make graphic, funny designs, I thought my t-shirt designs were hilarious, or at the very least cute. I would wear every single t-shirt design that I designed. I probably made over 100 designs. I thought they were great. A lot of them were pet themed or humorous or what I thought was on topic trending. And I even went to Fiverr and I paid a graphic designer to make, I think 20 or I think I did it twice. So I probably paid for 40 designs because when mine weren't selling, I thought, well, it's because I'm not an artist. I'll get an artist to do them. And to be honest with you, I liked mine better than the ones that came back from the professional artist. So for all of that work, I probably had 200 designs, or roughly around there, about 200 designs that I thought were all sellable. I didn't sell a single t-shirt, not one, ever. And I had them up for quite a while. And I tried the Amazon merch program, I tried Teespring, and I tried Redbubble. And I sold 0 t-shirts. And I put in quite a bit of effort. It was not a passive income at all. It was no income. So that was definitely not a quick and easy project. I did work on it for quite a while, but I got nothing out of it. So that's number one, t-shirt designs. Now there are people who do really well with that. They've cracked the code. But if you don't know what the secret is, I watched all the videos and I tried all the little tactics. I tried sharing them. I tried promoting them. I think unless you're going to spend a lot of money in advertisement, you're not going to sell t-shirts. But that was just me. This is just my experience. This video is not to tell you that you can't do it. Because if you want something badly enough and you're willing to dig in and keep trying until it works, then it'll work for you. But if you're looking for something quick and easy, the t-shirt design may not be it. It was not that for me. And this is just a video about my experience. So number two. Okay, this one I have made a tiny little bit of money on. But I think unless you're a huge influencer or have a huge platform to share, this is another one that's very hard to make any type of money on. Amazon affiliate program. I have links probably on this video to the book that I wrote. Doesn't mean you're going to get a lot of clicks. On average, I make $5 to $10 per quarter on Amazon affiliates. So definitely not going to pay the rent or the mortgage with Amazon affiliates. And I wouldn't even say that it's worth the Amazon on affiliates is easy if you're promoting things and you're sharing things anyway. It might be a little sprinkle of cash, but you're not going to make a full-time income off of Amazon affiliates unless you've got millions of subscribers and they're all dying to buy what you're selling. My platform's not that. It doesn't work for my videos. I've shared things that I would buy that I think are worth it. I get a couple clicks here and there, but for the most part, Amazon affiliates has been very disappointing for all the hype that it gets. Amazon affiliate program gets so much hype on the internet about a wonderful way to make money while you're waiting for your channel to get monetized. every time somebody does buy or click, you're getting pennies. You're not getting dollars every time somebody buys something. You know, you might get 20 cents here or 30 cents there. But that's about it. Number 3 is another one that I heard about, and I heard great things on TikTok, and I thought, okay, well, I'll try it. And it's Swagbucks. Total waste of time. Swagbucks, I think, is great for the person that's referring, but not for the person that's taking up the referral. For example, if you have a massive TikTok channel and you've got, you know, thousands of people each month using your referral code and signing up for Swagbucks, then you're gonna make money. But if you're the person that's signing up for Swagbucks and you don't have all the referrals, you're not going to make anything. And I tried playing the games. I tried taking the surveys. Those surveys are annoying. They take forever. And you might get, you know, 25 Swagbucks. Well, until you get $10 worth of rewards, they don't even let you cash out. You get nothing. I think I've been at $8 worth of Swagbucks for the last 3 months. I don't bother with it anymore. It's not worth my time. I can use my time much more effectively on something that will actually earn me income. Swagbucks, isn't it? And I'm going to put inbox dollars in that same category. All of those little promotions where you play games and you take surveys, total waste of time. And the next up, number 4, is surveys. There are a lot of sites that just do surveys. The surveys can take anywhere from a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. I've tried them all. I've never accumulated enough points to cash out on any of them. And I don't want to answer surveys for 3 hours to make $5. That's not a good side hustle, in my opinion. So big thumbs down for all the survey programs. And I think the people that are promoting them are getting referrals on them. And so if it's not good for the person who's actually signing up, I'm not going to tell you it's a good program. It's not. In that same group is going to be focus groups. Now, I understand that if you get into a focus group, you can make more money. Here's the problem I have with the focus groups and calling them a side hustle. I have signed up for so many focus groups, and I'm in Los Angeles. There's a lot of focus groups going on around here. The problem I have is I never get chosen for any of them. I don't know if I'm too old or if I'm the wrong demographic, but for the amount of questions they ask so many questions just to even screen you. It takes you 20 minutes to go through the pre-screening program, and I never get chosen. So to me, that's not a good investment of my time. I want something where I can actually work and make the money. Focus groups aren't it. Now, maybe I'll hit one here or there. I never have. I've never been chosen for a focus group. So I would not, if you need to make $1,000 fast, a focus group isn't going to do it. If you can pick one up here and there, that's great. Maybe in your area, there's less competition. Maybe there's just too much competition where I am, but hasn't worked for me here in Los Angeles. Okay, this next one breaks my heart a little bit. This next one I thought would be something. I spent a lot of time. I wrote a book. I self-published my own book. And I know that there are authors that make a full-time living self-publishing books. But it may not happen on your first one. From the research that I've done, unless you have a huge following that you can market your book to, I think I failed in the marketing. But I wrote a book a couple years ago. I wrote it on how to care for dogs. I'm a full-time pet sitter and dog walker. I've picked up a lot of tips on taking care of dogs, and a lot of my customers asked the same kinds of questions. So I wrote a book answering all their questions and sharing the tips that I think are most important for a dog owner. It took me a year to write the book. I accidentally deleted the file not once but twice and rewrote the book. I hired a professional editor, a professional formatter for the Kindle version. I hired a graphic artist to do the book cover. I hired a narrator to do the Audible version. It's available in paperback, on Kindle, and in Audible. And it was a passion project of mine. It was something on my bucket list that I wanted to do. And if I knew that I was never going to really make a profit on it, I would still do it and I would still create it. But I thought that at least I would recoup the money that I put into it, and I did not. I've sold a couple hundred copies, but I've probably spent, I think I've made like $26 in royalties. And I probably spent $6,000 in hiring out the editors and the graphic designers and the narrators and all of that. I spent the money to make a quality product. And I'm proud of my book. If you'd like to read my book, I'll put a link in the description down below. I'm proud of the book. I think it's a good product, but I did not make enough to even cover my expenses, let alone make additional money. Would I do it again? Yes. If you have a desire to write and you have a book in you and you need to get it out on paper, then do it. But don't do it because you think you'll make money, because your book may not sell. Again, if you have a huge audience and you're willing to wait for it to take, to get the traction that it needs, or if you're very good at marketing, I was not. I think marketing has been my handicap in most of the businesses and the things that I've done. Even in my pet care business, I struggle with marketing. And when I wrote my book, I also struggle with marketing. On my vision board, I have learned more about marketing, because I know that marketing is a weakness for me. And if you're great at marketing, a lot of these things may work better for you. I know it would work better in the T-shirt designs and in the book writing and in any business that you want to promote. If you're good at marketing, you will do much better. If you're not so good at marketing, and I think I can make a great Canva design, but I know that it is one of my weaknesses. Marketing is not one of my strengths. KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing, was not a moneymaker for me. It was easy to work with. It was fun to do. I would still do it again, but I would not do it again with the hopes of making money. I would do it because I had a book in me that I wanted to share. And, really I did it for myself at the end of the day. And I wanted it to be a good product, so I was willing to spend the money. And I knew that I probably wouldn't get the money back, but I didn't want to put out a bad version of the book. I wanted, as much time as I put into writing it, I wanted it to be a good product. Number 7. This is new. This one I had never heard of before. And I heard about this one hey Betty. Hey Betty. This one I heard about last week, and I thought, well, that one sounds kind of promising. So let me give it a try. So I signed up for a data annotation job last week, and I was accepted pretty quickly. Here's the problem with the data annotation. In order to do the work, you have to go through their training program. Basically, what data annotation is you are helping train artificial intelligence. And so you're the human, so you're helping teach it things that it can't do on its own. The training program that you have to complete to make sure that you're qualified to train the AI, it's an hour long. And it is mind-numbingly boring. Now, they pay, what I could find that they're paying as of right now, they were paying between $25 an hour and $45 an hour, which is pretty good. I got through about 30 minutes of the training, and I couldn't stand it. I don't know if I just have no patience, or if I just need more stimulation or something more interesting to do, but this was so boring. I thought, I don't want to do this. And I've got maybe 2 or 3 free hours a day that I could devote to a side hustle, and I'd like to enjoy it. And this was not enjoyable to me at all. Maybe if I got in the groove of it and I started collecting checks, I could, but I just couldn't see spending the few hours I have in the evening or an hour in the afternoon doing data annotation. It was so boring. And I thought, for the money, I would rather get better at marketing and pick up an extra dog walk and actually enjoy my time. Or I'd rather take photos and list things on eBay. I've got an eBay store that I'm shutting down because it's not rewarding enough. So maybe my Maybe my requirements are a little higher, and maybe data annotation would be for you because it was very easy to get accepted into their programs. And I think it's because it's so boring. I don't think they have a lot of people that stay and want to do it for a long amount of time. But if you're desperate for money, they do pay quickly. They paid, I only signed up for one, but it paid weekly. I signed up for the one that paid $45 an hour. And they paid, I think, every Wednesday for the previous week. So you start getting paid pretty quickly. I know that there are other things that I can do with the time that will earn me comparable money that I'll actually enjoy. So I lean into things that I actually enjoy. So this one may not be a total failure. I just didn't give it the time because I couldn't stand it. Number 8 is something that I did do for about a year and a half, and it worked where I lived when I was doing it. And that is Uber and Lyft. I was an Uber driver when I lived in Dallas, and I enjoyed it. I could cash out and get paid every day. My car was new enough back then that it qualified. I had a 2012 and I was doing it in 2015. So my car was a few years old. You do have to have a car in good condition if you're going to get customers in the car. The reason I didn't continue with Uber was because I was doing Uber and Rover at the same time. And I preferred Rover. I enjoyed working with the dogs more. I could make money, very easily. And with the Uber, the things that I didn't like about it was you never know who's getting in your car. I didn't work the late night hours because I didn't want drunk men in the car with the possibility of throwing up in my car. If they throw up in your car, it's going to take so much to get the smell out. So I really wanted to avoid the drunks and the strange men who wanted to sit up in the front and play with the dials. And I didn't have any of that with Rover. I never felt uneasy with Rover. The pet parents it was just a better client. So when I moved from Dallas, the dogs are chasing each other. Sorry about that. When I moved from Dallas to LA, I was moving to help my mom take care of my grandmother who had dementia at the time. And I already knew my mom's opinion on Uber, and she was terrified. She was terrified that I was going to get her. And in LA at the time, those things were happening to the drivers. It didn't happen often, but it's a bigger city. There's more crime. I didn't feel like I wanted to take that risk. And so I just leaned in more to pet sitting when I got here. And I was glad that I did because I made a full-time job out of it. But the other thing with Uber and Lyft is it put a lot of wear and tear on my car. I had to wash my car every day so that it would be clean so that I would get good reviews. And when I was in Dallas, I had a monthly car wash place where I could go. I was paying, I think, $20 a month, and I could go and wash it as many times as I wanted every day. And when I came here, there weren't any nearby. There, it was a block from my house. It was just super convenient. Here, there weren't any car washes running programs like that, so it was going to be more expensive to keep my car clean. And the gas is significantly more expensive in California, even back then, than it is anywhere else. We pay $1 more at least for gas year-round, all the time. And now with inflation, you'd really be paying a lot more for gas. Now, a lot of people make good money with Uber and Lyft. I made good money. I made enough money to cover my bills when I was in Dallas. So if you need money now, that's a good one. The thing to take into account, though, is you are going to wear out your car more quickly. The money that you make, you still have to fill up your gas tank. They don't reimburse you for gas. For me, when I took out the wear and tear on my car and the gas that I was spending and the more frequent oil changes, and I subtracted that from the money that I was making, there were some days where I wasn't positive. So you do need to look at your expenses because you will have higher expenses on delivery drivers and things like that. Now, I also will lump in Uber Eats into that program and DoorDash for the same reason. They're a little bit different because you don't have clients getting in your car, but you have food getting in your car. And so you're going to have I did Uber Eats and Uber at the same time. And one thing that I didn't like about that was with Uber Eats, you're getting the food in your car and then you could get a passenger in your car right afterwards, and they may not want to smell the food that was just in your car, especially if it's real stinky. The other difference between Uber and Uber Eats was with Uber, you pull up to a curb and the person is waiting outside for you generally. You don't have to go and find their apartment, knock on the door, and get them out. They'll wait at the curb. But what I found was when you're delivering them food, they weren't waiting at the curb. They were waiting in the house. So if you're in an area that has a lot of apartment buildings, you've got to find a parking spot, which a lot of times in LA, where there's apartments, there's no parking, even on the street. So you may have to park a block or two away, and then you get to the apartment complex and you've got to, use the buzzer or find a way in, and then you've got to find their unit. I live in a condo that has 200 units, and they're not easy to find. They're kind of in a weird order. So you could be circling this place and the person doesn't want to come out to you. They want to sit on their couch and wait at the door. So you can spend a lot of time trying to deliver this food. Between parking and circling the complex, you could waste 20 to 30 minutes just trying to find them after you've parked to get them their food. I preferred driving the people for that reason over the delivery of the food and the products, because you can waste so much time just trying to find their unit. And sometimes they don't speak English, or they just don't answer their phone. You can message them and they just won't answer. So for me, when you factor in the cost of gas and the actual amount of time that you're going to spend on each one, I didn't feel like I was making enough money to make it make sense. Like I was making less than a minimum wage by the time you factor out all the expenses, even when there was surge pricing. The other thing too is with things like DoorDash takes such a high service fee that a lot of people that would normally tip, by the time they're done paying all the extra fees to DoorDash or Uber Eats, they're done. They don't want to pay anymore, so they don't tip very often. So if you're counting on tips from programs like that, most people are not going to tip on those food delivery programs. Number 9 is mystery shopping. I did this for a while, and it can be kind of fun, the idea of getting free food or free meals. But here's the problem that I found with mystery shopping. For one, they're never good places to eat. Not once did I get a mystery shop for a place that I would like to eat. And they always have a lot of hoops that they want you to jump through. They want you to order very specific things and ask specific things and do specific things. And you've got to make sure you check all those boxes. And if you don't do all those things, they're not going to pay you. They also don't pay out very quickly. They pay out, you can do a mystery shop and you've got to pay with your own money up front. And then you might get reimbursed 2 weeks later. But I hardly ever eat out. So for me, getting a free meal that's maybe $15 to $18, I had to take the time to go there. I had to use my gas to go there. I had to order something that I wouldn't normally want to eat, and at a restaurant that's not very good. Again, by the time you take out the time that you spent on it and your expenses to get there and it's just too much hassle. I mean, yeah, you're going to get some free meals, but it's kind of a pain in the neck to go through all the hoops. I don't think they pay enough to make it worth your while. And you're certainly not going to get enough mystery shops to earn a living. Definitely side hustle. But if you want to try some new restaurants that you wouldn't normally try and do it for free, mystery shopping's okay. There were also things other than restaurants, but you'd have to go buy things that I'm not a big shopper and I don't do a lot of dining out. So for me, these programs aren't worth the hassle. Number 10 is kind of questionable because I did this one for a while and I think it does serve a purpose and you can make money. So it wasn't a total failure. I think for me, once I got enough clients and I had Rover working well enough, WAG was not worth my time. The reason I didn't like WAG was they set the prices and they are lower than what I can charge on Rover. Their customers normally don't do meet and greets, so you're going in blind. You can go in and the key may not work. The dog may charge you at the door. The dog could be aggressive. You really have no idea. And I think for the risk involved with WAG, because they don't normally have you meet the clients ahead of time, and because they set the pricing and it can be quite low, WAG is not the best choice if you want to do dog walking or pet sitting. I far prefer Rover for things like that. Now, I have my own pet sitting business and I have my own clients. I do fill in my schedule when it's light with Rover clients still. And I've been with Rover since 2015. I tried WAG for a year in 2017, so they may have changed things since then. But for me, Rover was such a better group of clients than WAG. The Rover clients expect to meet you ahead of time, and they're accustomed to paying a little bit more. They're also planners. The Rover clients tend to plan ahead. I just prefer working with the planners. I'm a planner. I enjoy somebody who thinks ahead a little bit and doesn't need you last minute without any warning. But if you're new in a town and you don't have any clients and you're on Rover but you're not getting any hits and you just need to get the ball rolling, WAG will do that. And WAG was very good for that. So WAG, while it made this list, it could still be a good side hustle if you're new to dog walking or pet sitting. You will get customers. The onboarding process was easy, very easy. Relatively no training to speak of, which is a bad thing if you're a customer, but a good thing if you're a worker, maybe. Not really good to go in blind though. So I would still, even though they don't require any training, I would recommend learning as much as you can about handling dogs and first aid, pet first aid and CPR and all of that. I would recommend, if you're going to be in the pet industry, to volunteer at a shelter. Shelters are wonderful to train you. They will teach you a lot. I learned a lot volunteering with the Best Friends animal organization here. But those are my top 10 don't waste your time apps and side hustles. My dogs are distracting. I'm sorry about that. But those are the 10 side hustles that I have tried, that I failed at. And if you're looking for a way to guarantee that you're going to make some money, these may not be your best option. I hope this helped someone. Have a great day. Bye.